Parlay Mlala, Hayanawa Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wamalaki by Hashem Harawak Wakakwadash, Barakathum, the water by Babal Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily, and to the men out there teaching a likewise doctrine and say you shalom. Then we're gonna get into a video. It's like a confession from this Edomite woman, where she might not be an Edomite woman because her spirit is in the right place. Her spirit is recognizing the wickedness and calling it out that Esau does. Now, I'll let you make that discernment on your own, but to me, she might have a little taste of righteousness in her because she's speaking truth. And she's talking about the 2,000-year rap sheet of Esau Edom. Yeah, the truth coming out in the end, it said the truth will spring from the earth. And once again, if this is an Edomite woman, the elder was right, that these women, Esau's women, is exposing him on a high level. So let's go ahead and grab this video, and we'll come back with some scriptures. The name of this is Must See, White People's Lies Exposed, Brace Yourselves, America. What is that? America, Black People.
People frequently claim that immigrants and poor Black families are living off the system. They're on welfare, they're mooching. But here is the truth. The majority of people on public assistance in the United States of America are white, and most of them have jobs.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another video.
Hold up, I didn't know she was gonna cut in. Let's go back to, because she went in. Here you go. All right, let's start right here.
If you don't know where to start in Top Heroes World, the Springland is a great place to start. There are low-level enemies and villages with free healing wells.
For white people. I knew that it was created during the New Deal, so I did some more research because I didn't really know the whole story, and I thank you guys for responding and helping me learn stuff. So during the Great Depression is when we saw the beginning of things like Social Security, unemployment insurance. But here's the kicker. When Franklin Roosevelt built those programs, he had to make deals with Southern Democrats in Congress, the same folks who were big fans of Jim Crow, to get the support of these racist white Southern politicians. The programs were designed to exclude farm workers, domestic workers, jobs held overwhelmingly by Black, Latino, and Indigenous people. So right from the start, Black and brown families were pushed out of benefits so that white people could get them. Then we move forward to the 1960s, and there's this war on poverty. It finally opened up welfare programs more broadly, and that's when food stamps became permanent. Well, permanent, we don't know what Trump's going to do to them, but they lasted a long time. And guess what? The minute more Black and brown families started accessing this help, the politics shifted. Welfare got a new image and a new target. By the 1980s and 90s, with Ronald Reagan and his gang, they pushed the welfare queen myth. That's a racist dog whistle meant to turn public opinion against safety nets by blaming Black women for poverty that white policies created. That's the truth, you guys. So yes, welfare was built for white people, and when others finally got in the door, they tried to burn the house down. But it's not poor people.
See, that's the nature of Esau right there. That's how you know Esau is your enemy. Because Esau, in order for you to stay stagnant in arrested development, Esau shoot himself in the foot just to make sure you stay below him. He'll destroy himself to destroy you. That's how deep the hatred goes.
Who are eating up the most dollars in public assistance? Nope, it's the middle class. It's people who can take mortgage deductions, and of course, corporations cashing in on subsidies. But nobody calls that a handout. I've never owned anyone. My neighbors, as far as I know, have never been owned by anyone. But the people who say we don't owe any reparations for the Civil War are ignoring something really huge. Or maybe they just don't know. Some people already got reparations. White people. White enslavers were paid for losing their human property. The actual people who were raped, tortured, whipped, and sold, and worse, were promised land to get a fresh start after the war, but they got nothing. When slavery was abolished, Congress paid nearly $1 million, which is 30 million in today's bucks, to white enslavers as compensation for losing their property in a war they lost. If a freed person didn't hit the road fast enough, they risked being re-enslaved under new laws that were just workarounds for all these white people losing their slaves. After the Civil War ended, Union General Sherman set aside 400,000 acres of confiscated Confederate land for black families to start new lives on, up to 40 acres each. The Army loaned out mules to help them work the land. That's where the phrase 40 acres and a mule comes from. Black people were already working some of this land when Lincoln was assassinated and Andrew Johnson became president. Well, Johnson reversed the order. He gave the land back to the same Confederates who had just tried to destroy the country. The freed people were evicted. So they made all these things into crimes that were non-crimes. They were things like, if a black person didn't have a job, that was a crime. If a black person couldn't...
You see the lengths Esau goes to make you an offender. Normal shit, now you a criminal. But meanwhile, look what's going on in the White House. But he's not considered a criminal. You see what's going on? You see, they got to accuse you of something, even if they got to lie on you. They got to make you an offender so that you can fall under scrutiny and jurisdiction of their laws. You got some blood on your hands, baby. You're going to have to repay.
Prove that they had a job, that was a crime. You could get arrested for that and a lot of other ridiculous things. But once you were in jail, you could be leased out as labor for private profit. This system...
See, they're trying to bring that bullshit back again with the Northern Kingdom, rounding them up for no reason, putting them in cages for no reason. And now Trump, he trying to just throw it out there like it's just an idea that he just came up with, or he just brainstorming. No, this was the plan. He wants to lease out those migrants. No, he don't want to lease them out. He wants the migrants to become these farmers' property. You see what it's going? So they're trying to ease slavery back into existence without calling it that. But by definition, that's exactly what it is.
Of convict leasing allowed white landowners and businesses to replace slavery with something just as violent, just as profitable as slavery. No wonder there are still Confederate flags all across the South. Even after slavery was abolished, Black Americans were not safe. Public lynchings became a regular threat. They were a form of terror used to keep free people in their place. They were planned events announced in advance so everybody could attend. They were held in broad daylight. White families brought their children to watch Black people being hanged, tortured, brutally murdered. It was a festival. People sold food. There were postcards made. People could buy postcards.
See how Edomites celebrate murder? They don't feel nothing bad behind it. That's why the Lord said in Obadiah 1:15, for all you have done, it shall be done unto thee. Roughly paraphrasing. So, hey, if murdering innocent people don't bother you now, keep that same energy when the Lord pull up, because he finna take a lot of Edomites out the game.
Of the mutilated bodies hanging from trees and mail them in the mail or keep them as souvenirs. This country took care of Civil War.
See who the real animals are? You see who the real savages are? Mm-hmm.
Criminals and punished the ones the war was supposed to free. And there was a lot more abuse I just can't fit into this video. Next time I'm going to talk about the stuff that happened in relation to the Great Depression and World War II. And then after that, I'll have one on civil rights, the era when I was growing up, how it all ties in to the racism that is part and parcel of our grand land today. White people, you especially need to get curious. Join me in this research, and you'll find that people are willing and able to come in with their education and their experience to help you learn. You just have.
All right, y'all can finish watching the rest of this. I just want to get those few points. But no, Esau is not going to do no research, because Esau don't deal with reality or truth. They're going to dodge and avoid reality and truth. Cognitive distance is on high. They don't want to know because they don't want to feel the guilt. Even though they feel the guilt already, they still trying to ignore it because Esau cannot deal with truth or reality. That's why he doesn't. Let's get some scriptures. Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. That's why Esau so crazy about guns and weapons. He blessed him with the sword. Now let's go to Proverbs. Chapter 21, verse 10. The soul of the wicked desire evil. His neighbor findeth no favor in his eyes. Meaning, when Esau's neighbor looks at him, the neighbor already knows that Esau hates him, because he turns away his face and despises men, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. Let me see what else in here. Verse 7, the robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment. Yep. All right, let's keep going. Job chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Cover the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? That's why all this wickedness was tolerated, because the planet is still in rulership by wicked people. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, which means rob, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and all that dwell therein. Verse 9, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. That's not going to happen. You will be delivered to the power of evil, because the Lord creates evil. All right, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 12. Yeah. Verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted swords his wickedness. Verse 3, there can no, well, not that one, not that one. That's not applicable in this situation. Verse 16, chapter 12. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Chapter 14, verse 7. If he do it good, he will do it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Now, this the verse I paraphrase. This the actual scripture right here. Chapter 14, verse 8 in the book of Sirach. The envious man have a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. Verse 9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drives up his soul. Exactly. And all his wickedness about to come back on him. And a lot of you Edomites, y'all gonna be beating politicians' asses, because once you see that we've been telling the truth the whole time and that you are going into captivity, you're gonna turn on your elites, because your elites leading you to captivity, literally. Well, I wouldn't say that, but they're setting the stage. They're fulfilling prophecy for the Lord to come back and put y'all into captivity. And it's all under the watch of Esau, Edom. So yeah, Yahweh we are of that number. We gonna be laughing our asses off watching you Edomites beat the shit out of each other. Well, watching you Edomites beat the shit out of the elites who got you into this situation. So yeah, we ain't gonna have to touch you. Your own people gonna beat your ass, Esau. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10, let favor be shown to the wicked. Yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 2, verse 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. You ain't getting no mercy, man, when you go into captivity. James chapter 1, verse 8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. First, they're going to fight a war, civil war, to keep us into slavery. Half of them trying to keep us into captivity, and half was trying to free us. So the South lost the war. And what did Esau do? He gave the slave owners reparations. And then trying to railroad the Israelites back into captivity. That's what the Emancipation Proclamation really did. Lincoln did not free the slaves. He transferred ownership from private to government. We were never free. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah. Chapter 13. Verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. We know those things are not possible. Therefore, Esau cannot do good. Look at his history. His whole existence is a rap sheet. And he think he ain't gonna be punished? Okay. They say ignorance is bliss. We gonna see. We gonna goddamn see. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 28. Verse 15. See, all he do is lie to himself because he can't deal with truth or reality. Verse 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. That's the dumbest thing you can do, because anybody who lies to themselves, they'll lie to anybody. Why would you pump yourself up just to disappoint yourself? There's no wisdom in teaming. This is the book of Isaiah still, chapter 29, verse 15. Woe unto him that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? They still think don't nobody know that they're the wicked of the planet. They still think that people don't know that they're not the true Jews. See how stupid? That's what happens when you constantly deal with lies. You You can no longer distinguish what's truth and what's false. Go to the book of Zechariah. Chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So what do the cops do, the crooked cops? They'll murder an innocent black or brown person, and then they would demonize the victim and victimize themselves. That's holding yourself not guilty. And they that seldom say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Yeah, in order to try to put a spin on it, they'll lie on the person they just shot and murdered, just so it seems justified. But it wasn't justified, because no murder is justified over a broken tail light, expired license. No, that's not an offense that the person should be put to death. But see, Esau's perpetual hate, envy, and jealousy drives him to do such things, because he's running off emotion. That's what makes him unstable, impulsive, dangerous. You never know when them emotions gonna flare up. Let's go to Psalms. Chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. That's justifying, trying to justify an innocent murder. Yeah. Psalm 73, verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Because the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. That's why you don't see crooked cops getting judged. That's why you don't see crooked politicians getting judged. That's why you don't see nobody wicked that's an Edomite get judged, because you can't send the wicked to pass judgment on the wicked. There's no righteous judgment will go forth. Look at the White House. Matter of fact, they blocked the Epstein files. Republicans blocked it 3 times to protect their wicked leaders, to protect these global politicians, these princes, these elites from prosecution. But they say in the same breath, they want to get all the criminals out the country. Hold on, y'all. All right, it's lucky, y'all. I had to, hard drive was tripping. I had to see what was going on with it. All right, let's keep going. Go to Ezekiel. Chapter 35. It's that revenge the Lord was talking about. This is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Everything you done finna come back on you, fam. Isaiah chapter 59. Then we're gonna see if you're gonna be so proud then. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 6. Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. Think about it. Look at all the hell they put on us. Look at all the wars they've been fighting since Esau came back into power. Yeah, that peace they know not. Now let's get this one. Yep, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. That's them in a nutshell. Let's go to Psalms chapter 37, verse 32. The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. See, it's in their nature. It's all they know. Murder, theft, life. Get a couple more and we can close on this one. See what Revelation chapter 19 do. Verse 1. And now this is a future prophecy. And after these things, I heard a great voice of much people in heaven saying, Hallelujah, salvation and glory and honor and power unto Yahweh, our power. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Salaki. Verse 2. For true and righteous are his judgments, for he have judged the great whore, the United States, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and have avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. Now let's go to Ezekiel 25. Verse 12. Thus said the Lord, Yahweh, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman. There the done shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine fury and according to mine anger. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh. We can finish off in the book of Obadiah, because that's where the Lord gonna finish them at. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Verse 15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. All 17 nations about to go into captivity, including Esau, Edom. Verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. They shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Verse 21, and Savior shall come upon Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So all your jealousy, envy, and hatred got you about to be exterminated. But first, you got to do 1,000 years of slavery. Thus saith the Bible, thus saith the Lord. So I hope all this thievery and all this other fuck shit y'all was doing was worth it, because y'all about to pay tremendously. Call Halayim La, Alahayin Al Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wa Malakia, by Hashem, Harawat, Wakakwadash, Barakathum, the water by Babal, Wakwam Yasharala. Shalom.